Hello, I'm Deborah Sword. Let's talk about how to use and practice conflict analysis. In episode number 65, Tyson asked me what conflict competence skill I use most often, and without hesitation, I said conflict analysis. I've recorded episodes about what conflict analysis is, how to use it, how to do it. These episodes are in the show notes below. Tyson and I want to make conflict analysis of popular culture a monthly feature of our podcast, analyzing the conflict in a show, a movie, or a book. Let's look at two novels today. The titles are in the show notes. I'll use conflict competencies to analyze the story's conflict. The first book is The Man Who Saw Seconds by Alexander Boldizar. It's an example of how a conflict can escalate. The protagonist knows that if he mouths off to the police officer, he'll get into a fight. He mouths off anyway. The conflict escalates to world-threatening heights because of the combination of an egotistical, short-tempered officer plus a principled, mouthy protagonist in a closed setting with no live witnesses, independent live witnesses. The police officer values his role being respected. The protagonist values doing the right thing as he views it. The conflict analysis includes those personalities of the parties, plus setting, plus competing values in a belief system that should be based on the rule of law that catapults the conflict into the stratosphere. Let's analyze the opportunities the characters had to take off ramps from the conflict highway they're speeding on. As the plot twists and the conflict escalates, the protagonist tries de escalation, but new characters keep appearing that escalate the conflict. That takes us to analyzing the interests, not motives, because conflict analysis digs to the interests under the motives. The protagonist has one interest, keeping his family safe and intact. The antagonist's interest is to win at all costs. How the antagonists act to achieve their interest escalates from curiosity about how the protagonist escapes to controlling the protagonist, to capturing him, to hurting him, to making him suffer. It's a fun read on the conflict competencies of analyzing escalation, failed resolution, and evolving strategies to achieve the character's interests. The second book is Blue Ticket by Sophie Mackintosh. The conflict analysis is the use, abuse, and exercise of power in conflict, and how the protagonist's sense of powerlessness makes her yearn for agency over her life and her fate. She exercises whatever power she can muster. In her case, it's resistance to the powerful structure seeking to control her. Analyzing the opportunities for resolution, you see that society as a whole physically threatens and punishes girls who break the unjust rules. The conflict analysis of the power includes who has power, what kind it is, how it's applied, what the protagonist does to fight back to the extent she's able, where she finds resources within herself and externally, when she trusts others, when she shouldn't trust others, and in which setting. Watch how power moves from the protagonist to others and back again. Power is flexible, adaptable, movable, and expandable. Analyze the interests. The protagonist's interest is in having the option to live the life she longs for. The antagonist's interest is in keeping the power structures that control women. Society's interest is in expressing rage at anyone who bucks the system they're stuck in and punishing those who break out of the power structure they've been brainwashed into thinking is inevitable. The conflict competency is analyzing power and how even the powerless will seek ways to exert agency and control over their lives. Conflict analysis isn't a review of plot, character, theme, style, or voice like a book reviewer would undertake. It's your explanation to understand the opportunities lost or taken for resolution, the character's interests and strategies to achieve their goals, how conflict competent they are. It's your practice for analyzing your conflicts so you can be more conflict competent. Leave a comment about a movie, show, or book you're enjoying. What's the conflict driving the story? How would you analyze that conflict? Which of your conflict competencies would you apply in your conflict analysis? Thank you for listening. I hope you'll like it, share it, leave a comment, let us know what you'd like us to analyze next. We love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening.